Hi, everybody. My name is Akiva Goldberg, and I'm joined here by my good friend and co-host, Jonas. Say hi, Jonas.
Hello, everybody. It's such a great day to be here. I don't know why we're acting like this is some sort of positivity podcast. It's not. I mean, we like to be positive, but the point of this is to not make people feel positive. In fact, I come away better if you feel like shit afterwards. But that's just me. Akiva, what do you think?
Um, Fuck your feelings. I hate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Luckily, we're on the same page here. That makes me. Speaking of Paige, I'm pretty sure that she's dead. That's unfortunate. I probably should have fed her more, but it happens. Uh, uh,
Man. Anyway, uh, so the other day, I have a little story to kick us off.
oh
But
boy,
first, Jonas, how are you?
wow! Thank you so much for asking. I'm doing so well today. Today's such a beautiful day. The only problem, although something bad did happen today. I was looking outside and I had to witness two Jews walking and enjoying their day. So that made my day pretty terrible. Uh, uh,
Oh my god.
uh,
All right. Well,
how about you? How's your
I'm
day?
doing pretty good. I ate a bagel.
Oh yeah,
Um, had with some lox on it, capers,
yeah. I
tomato, and onion.
saw. Yeah. I saw your bagel. That shit was a fucking beast, man.
It was really, really good. The only thing is like bagels don't fill me up if I only eat one, so I got two.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like, and the thing is like even like I'm kind of bigger now, like, but when I was like skinnier, even when I was younger, like I just bottomless pit. Like I'm I'm a very hungry boy.
Hell yeah.
Um, oh, I have a kind of a story to kick us off.
Oh boy.
Um, so so I work food service, right? So the place I work, we have a policy. Well, it's not like a policy, but we have like kind of a method of when we take someone's order, we read it back to them as they say it. So we get all the ingredients correct, so we can confirm that we're giving them what they wanted, right? Pretty reasonable, right? So, um, John asks, what I did was well, I called it back to this lady and I let her know, here you go. Like these are all the ingredients, right? Like I got that all right. Like, on a gluten-free option, like as an allergy to gluten, like a cheeseburger, right? Cool. She was like, yeah, yeah, thank you. And I was like, awesome. You want fries? Yes, please. All right, no problem. Um, well, finished taking her order and she gets her food. And about 5 minutes later, she storms up with her tinfoil, her wrapping of her burger open, and she slams it on the counter in front of the manager and goes, I can't fucking eat this. And I went, oh, God. So I come up and I'm also like, oh my goodness, did I mix something up for you? And she points at it and she goes, I can't eat cheese. And I went, well, you ordered a cheeseburger with, on a gluten free, like lettuce wrap option with, I think it was mayo, onion, tomato, grilled onions, and grilled mushrooms, right? And she went, yeah. I was like, okay. So we offered to remake it for her. And we're like, can we have like what your slips so we know what was on the burger?
Right.
And she goes, fucking excuse me? I don't need to prove shit to you. And we were like, no, like we're
It's
not trying
not.
to
It's not a fucking interrogation.
we're not interrogating you. We're just
It's-
offering. We were like, no, no, no. Like, we just want to know what was on it so we can remake it for you, right? She's like, I want to speak to your supervisor. And my manager was like, so he calls over his supervisor,
right.
our boss, and my boss is like, fucking. So she's like, all right, we're going to remake it for you, or I can refund it for you. What would you like? And, she brings her over to the cash register. She wants a refund, refunds it to her. And, the refund's given. She seems to be in a better mood. So the manager, like the supervisor, and I walked up and out, and we were like, "Oh, have a night. Like, I hope you have a better night. Like, we're sorry about that. Like, please come back soon." Um, and she turned and she's like, "What?" And we went, "Have a nice day. Like, have a better night." And she went, "I won't," and threw her gift card on the floor, flipped us off, said, "Fuck you," and then walked out. So the topic of today is people fucking suck. Like, don't get me wrong, there's good people out there, but people suck. So, Jonas, I don't know. Have you ever been in public and just either seen people being shitty or people have been shitty towards you? Because, boy, oh boy, do I have some.
Yeah, I have a couple occasions, not really service related, but I do have a couple occasions of.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be service related. It can
Yes.
just be like people in public. Because I'm 100% certain that everyone around that lady was like, I'm just trying to eat my food. Like, it was a busy Friday night, and she was just like, like screaming.
I find it so funny that she like ordered a cheeseburger and then she was shocked that it had cheese on it. Like,
Now, granted, I read it back to her. This is what I specified to you. I read it back to her 3 times. What I do is I read the ingredients back, like I read everything back as it's told to me. And then at the end, if it's like a single thing, I'll be like, okay, so that was a cheeseburger, onion, tomato, grilled onion, grilled mushroom, whatever, or mayo, onion, tomato. Yeah. And I'll read it back and I'll be like cheeseburger or little cheeseburger or like hamburger or bacon cheeseburger. Like I will read everything back if it's like a single sandwich, especially to confirm. And she went, yep. Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go to oh man, I'm gonna go to a fucking hot dog shop. I'm gonna fucking order a hot dog with ketchup. I'm gonna fucking throw the hot dog at the worker's face when it comes with ketchup.
Yeah, just like order like a hot dog with ketchup on it and then throw it back at the employee and be like, I'm allergic to hot dogs.
No, there you
Like,
go. There you go. Yeah. The ketchup wasn't the problem. Like, it was the hot
no,
dog.
no, how fucking, and then how dare we wish her a good night, right? Like we were like, oh, have a better night, and she threw her gift card down.
To me, I
So she
mean,
got rid of her gift card.
maybe she wants to be like, I don't know, like the maker of her own destiny, you know? Like,
Yeah,
she'll have a better night if she wants to have a better night. No, I don't know. I'm like, don't tell me what to do.
like what? Come on. So, do you have anything like that, Jonas?
Not anything as bad as that. So, for context, I am very much like, I like to talk to people. For multiple reasons. Even because, like, I believe that everyone deserves to be talked to, I guess, to a certain extent. But that ends up leading me into being into, like, a lot of situations where I'm like, oh, this person's, like, not too great. I don't want to talk to this person anymore.
So you're
Uh,
would you say like you're a social person kind of?
to a certain extent, you generally have to come up to me to talk to me. Like, I'm not going to go up to you and talk to you. But if you come up to me and talk to me, I will indeed talk to you. Um,
Yeah, with me I'm like I don't usually go up to people and talk to them. But like let's say I'm like standing next to someone in a grocery aisle or whatever and like we're like looking at the same thing or whatever. Sometimes I'll joke and I'll be like, "Oh, there's so many options." Or like and they'll be like, "Haha, yeah." And they'll like joke back and forth and we'll like talk for a second and then that's it.
yeah. Yeah,
Or like,
so
customer service where you have to work, you have to talk to somebody.
so this so I'm at school, right? You know, you know what? Yes, today was a pretty important day was a pretty important day today to me because I got to school early and I needed to study for a test that I was having that day.
Is
This
this
was
today?
Not today. I don't have school today, but
Oh yeah, wait.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
duh. Hence why we're recording a podcast. Yep.
yes, correct. Uh, but um, but I was essentially I was waiting. So I was trying to study for this test, and it was in a subject that I enjoyed, but was also very hard. It was the subject of logic. Essentially, this
Mhm.
is like how arguments work and stuff like that. So basically, I think that for this part, so at this moment we were actually studying something that was like it was interesting, but it was also like not useful like at all. It was basically like how to like put logic into like math. It was weird, but um, for context, but basically for like very simple thing, the class was basically just like, okay, what makes an argument? Well, essentially this sort of basically they said like, um, I
Sorry, wait.
think
What kind of class was it?
logic. So essentially,
Logic. Right. Okay. Right. Right.
so
Right.
basically, so we're learning about arguments, and I think we're learning about like a valid argument. There are a few different
Like
words.
what constructs it? Like what
Yeah.
kind
So
of
basically,
construct?
so they said like a valid argument, essentially, um, basically means that if all the premises are true, then the conclusion is must also be true. It doesn't matter if they actually are true, but it must. But if it follows the line of reasoning, then but basically, if it follows reason, so basically, if you said like cheese tastes good, the moon is made of cheese. Hence, when I went to the moon, I would eat it. You know, it's like obvious. Like the thing is that if all the premises are true, the conclusion must also be true. So
Okay.
yeah, and then we learned about another argument. I can't remember what it was called, but basically that's where all the premises are true. So the conclusion is also true. Um, so I'm studying for this test, and this lady comes up, and she asks if she can sit next to me. For context, I'm sitting in like this very like large area, so it's kind of like it was weird that she even asked me. It was like, yeah, like like there's a lot of room. Like I don't fucking care. Uh, so she sits down, whatever, and she starts chatting with me. I'm like, hello. And she says she thinks my laptop looks cool, and I'm like, oh, that's no, thanks. She asks if she can trade me for her laptop, and I'm like, haha, I'm kind of taking it as kind of like a joke, because it's like,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
But then
Yeah.
I see
Like I
that,
would be like, yeah. Like
yeah, and then I see that she's being serious, and I'm like, like I know that realistically at this point I can't just say no, I like this laptop, but to me that didn't make sense. So instead, I kind of just said, no, I need this for school, haha. But it's like whatever. We ended up talking more, and and the conversation ended up going decently well. But we start talking about logic, okay?
hmm
Um, because of the class I'm doing,
yeah.
and she says that, and basically she says that it's important to be logical because essentially, because basically she says, I forget exactly what she said. Basically, she said something like, what was it? It was something like, you can be smart. No, it was like, I think that she said something like, you know what? No, okay, I'm gonna say what I think that she said. She said that she likes to be logical, but you need to be careful because you can be logical and still be stupid, just like you can be logical and still be an N word. And I was like,
Oh.
hard R. And keep in mind, it was so
Oh.
strange to me because she was dark skinned, and like, and so
Okay.
I kind of looked at her like obviously in shock because I'm like, why the fuck did you just say that? And then basically then she starts like going like, oh my god, I should have said that, like, and like, she's clearly like kind of like freaking out like a little bit, and then she says some shit like, do you forgive me? And like in my mind, I'm kind of like sure, because like realistically, I don't want to stir shit at this point. At this point, I'm kind of like,
Realistically, it's not even like the thing is also it's not that deep for you. Like, yes, that would have shocked you, but like you just met her. It's not like you guys were like friends for months. You guys
mm-hmm.
literally just sat next to each other and she chatted you up. Anyway.
And then and then we kind of start talking again, and I'm kind of trying to forget about it. And then she starts talking about how she doesn't like Filipino people, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then she says, and then she's because her Filipino landlord kicked her out, and I'm like, okay, like, all right. And then she starts talking about how her life has been hard because she had to identify her sister's body, and I was like, okay, dog, look, and like I didn't say this, but I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, dog, that's sad, but like, why are you telling me this? This is fucking like,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about this right now. If you were like a friend of mine, sure, I'd listen to you. But at this point, like, and it was so weird because like she wasn't like breaking down. It wasn't like she needed someone to listen to her. It just seemed like she was kind of just like ranting, and it was like so odd.
Unsolicited venting.
Yeah, and it made me feel like really uncomfortable. And so then after she talked about how much she hated Filipino people, then she said, "But I'm not racist," and I was like, "Okay, sure." And then she said she was gonna go to the bathroom, I think. And then
Okay.
and then the moment she left, the moment that she was gone, I packed up all my shit and I got fucking out of there because I felt so uncomfortable and I didn't want to be there anymore. Cause
Yeah. What the fuck?
yeah, it's just like it's just and
Like,
like the thing is, right, is that like my campus is like not the place where you think that shit like that would happen. Like I remember when I
no.
first like I remember that like I remember when I first started wearing my kippa to school, I was kind of expecting to like get like bad reactions for it because I guess that's kind of just what I've been trained to expect. But the reactions I've gotten are either A, no one's reacted to it, which honestly is kind of what I wanted, or I've had people compliment me on it. And I like, it's kind of like, so it's not like I've had like bad experiences at this school. It's just that sometimes you just have like weird shit
Right.
happen. And so I was like, okay, that wasn't fun. And
That's totally,
yeah. So,
like that's the thing. Like there we go. Now I can
yeah,
see you.
yeah. I was about to say, like, it was kind of weird because like you were like because like your view was horizontal, but then like the camera was still vertical. It was really weird. But now it's better.
Yeah. The issue is, oh, there we go. Fix it.
Nah. Uh,
Now I can zoom in on your beautiful face.
uh, but yeah, fucking, it was just it just made me uncomfortable. I guess the best way to put it. Like, and a hot take, but I don't like to feel uncomfortable. So
Yeah, crazy. We we cross many boundaries here
yeah,
in MLA, but God, fucking that is an uncomfortable situation.
mm-hmm. Again,
That
it's
is an
like,
uncomfortable
again,
situation.
it's like it's sad you had identified like your sister's body because like apparently she was murdered, and it was like damn, like that's like really
God, but
and
also like, why would you trauma dump?
exactly
You just met a person.
exactly like I don't need to hear
God.
about this right now at this moment. Like
You and I, our first conversations were just like, hey, how's it going? Hey, what's up? Like fucking, I don't know, regular friendship.
the way that we did, like, okay, the way that we did become closer was sort of through trauma bonding, but like it wasn't
It
like
was mutual.
yeah, it wasn't
It was
like you said some shit to me like, oh man, I like okay, number one, I had known you for a period of time and we've been growing close, so it was like okay, this seems like a natural evolution. It wasn't like the
right.
first time you met me. You were like, "Yo,
Yeah.
what's up? You want to hear about the fucking time that my fucking brother got murdered?" Like,
Yeah, which didn't happen to me, fortunately enough. I can say, fortunately enough, my brother had not been murdered.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
it's not happening until next week.
no, brother, two sisters. Glad none of my siblings got murdered.
Hot take. I don't want any of my
sisters.
family members to be murdered.
Most. I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, I did, and they them's in between. I did want to announce that Jonas's dad said that he was proud of me today.
Yeah, man.
And that meant a lot. because I don't have a fucking. Just kidding. I have a dad, but Jonas's dad saying he was proud of me. I got a cool sticker from it. I printed a picture of me and Jonas's dad. It's basically my face taped over Jonas's face.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, Akiva's trying to replace me.
Yep.
So
That's why I'm in Jonas's basement. You think
Yeah.
Jonas is the antagonist, but in reality, I'm the antagonist.
Well, that's
and
a spoiler.
Jonas is just trying to prevent.
That's a spoiler. We don't have to give that away yet. It's the evolution of this. Eventually, I'll be like, everything I own will be gone, and you'll have taken over, and I don't have to live my life in the woods.
Light you on fire.
Wow. If you don't for all of you who can't see what's happening, Akiva was just holding up a lighter to my face. So that was cool.
Just kind of wipe off.
And that's why you don't hold a fucking lighter near your camera. I mean, in our high-tech podcast recording studio.
Yeah, we're definitely not video chatting over Discord.
Yeah, that would never happen in a million years.
No, God no.
We're professionals. God damn it!
Like that would make me very uncomfortable. So, damn. So I guess like one story, and this is like a shorter one in case Jonas needs to step in and tell another. So one day, I'm a manager on duty at like another place, and excuse me, at like a food service place, and one of my cashiers is just at the cash register taking orders, whatever, and I'm like out back doing whatever, and I hear, "You fucking bitch! You dumb fucking whore! What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Was that directed at you or?
No, well, no, because I was out back.
Oh, okay, right. I forgot about that part.
So I'm like, I sit up and I'm like, I'm doing paperwork. Can you, to another manager, I was like, can you go see what's going on? And he steps out and he just hears the fucking blah, 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 bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Because during COVID, there were capacity limits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember if that was like what was going on with you guys, like over where you were at, too.
Yes, that was the thing. I mean, we used to take trips down to Pismo, and I mean, like we still do, but like when COVID was at like an all-time high, there was this coffee place we like to go to, but
there's a capacity.
Mm-hmm. And then with the pool, you had to like rent out like a quarter of the pool
or occupancy limit or whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we had an occupancy limit, including the team, of I think it was like, because it was a bigger area, like where people could safely distance. I think we had like an occupancy limit, including the team of like workers there. I think it was like 15 or 16, something like that. So pretty good. Like it was a decent space too, so like people could space out, kind of be in their own little group in their own little area. We had like certain tables closed off so people could social distance. And also in the state that I was working in, Illinois, they had a mask mandate in that area, which, we were near Chicago, so like a high exposure area. And I just hear, "What the fuck? It's fucking stupid. I don't want to wait outside. Like, fucking, it's cold out." And I come out. And this manager's like, "Sir, go wait. You can wait in your car until 3 people leave." And he's like, "Fucking, why didn't you tell these people behind me that they had to go outside?" And we were like, and the guy was like, "I was about to tell them too, but someone is screaming." Right? So, we're trying to resolve it. And then I go up to this manager, I pat his shoulder, and I'm like, "Go up back and call the police." And this dude's screaming, swearing up a storm. I come up to the counter and I go, "Who the fuck do you think you are? This is a 16-year-old child and you're calling her a bitch and a whore?" I was like, you are a fucking class act. I was like, we're not doing this. I was like, we're not doing this, and I am not serving you. And he starts going, fuck you! Fuck you! He starts fucking throwing shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, right? I'm like, oh my God. This dude's freaking out. Another customer comes up and he's like, I'm trying to eat with my kids. My kids are here. He's like, my kids are here. You need to stop. And this guy's in this dude's face like, fuck you. And he's like, hey, everyone's just trying to do their part and keep each other safe. You go wait in your car. He's like, I don't want to wait in my car because it's cold out there. And we were like, turn on your heat. And then he was like, I don't want to burn gas. And I'm like, it doesn't really burn that much gas to just turn your car into accessory mode. My car right now is on accessory mode.
That's more battery power than anything.
That's more about and even then, that was my car beeping. I mean, my high-tech office.
Yes,
my high-tech.
We have many. We have many gadgets and doodads in here.
Definitely not a Volkswagen or a Toyota.
Whatever the fuck
drive
it
a Toyota. I drive a Toyota. I mean, so it won't kill your battery if you keep your car on accessory mode for 15 minutes with the heat going. And last I checked, it doesn't take a car that long to heat up. So he's just throwing a hissy fit, getting in this other dude's face, threatening to fight him, beat him up, all this shit. And I'm like, I look at the guy and I'm like, I'm not going to serve you at this point. You called a 16-year-old child a bunch of names. That's not okay. And I was like, you have two options. And he's like, what fucking options? And he starts getting up and puffing up his chest and walking up to the counter. And I'm like, okay, 3 options. I was like, you leave right now. You leave with the police. Or we step outside, you and I get off the clock, and then the police come, and we see what happens after that. I was like, but you're not going to do this in my restaurant. You're not going to call this child names. And at this point, the 16-year-old is, literally crying.
Yeah, fair.
She's, upset, and this dude just called her all these things. And I'm like, he called her more than, a bitch and a whore, but I'm not going to go into
that. Yeah. We get the picture at this point.
You get the picture. He called her some nasty things. He made comments on her body, all of those things. Just not okay. Not acceptable. And there were children around too that were scared because this dude was freaking out.
That's honestly the sad part, because quite honestly, those kids are probably not going to want to go to fucking restaurants anymore. Just because that probably fucked up the experience.
Yeah, that would give me I already have social anxiety. That would give me so much more.
Yeah.
So he chooses the first option. He walks towards the door and kicks the trash can and goes, ugh! And gets in his car and drives away. Well, the police arrive right afterward, 30 seconds to a minute after.
Oh my God.
30, literally. By the way, fast responding team. Seriously, the police in Rolling Meadows, Illinois, amazing. Amazing response time. Chicago area, Chicago metro area.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing response time for that area. They arrive and they're like, yeah, this dude had the very same freak out at 2 other restaurants down the road. They were like, show us your cameras. And we were like, okay. And, usually they need a warrant, whatever. But, the general manager came in because he heard about what happened.
Right.
And we checked, and oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
He was being a little bit quirky.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
Shit.
Yeah, and the dude came, the dude that kind of started to defend us came up, and he was like, hey, I'm really sorry that happened. And I was like, no, I'm like, I'm sorry that happened to you. You're the one that was trying to eat with your kids. I'm just a customer service worker. He's like, yeah, but you don't deserve to be talked to like that. Um, and I was like, no, man, is there anything we can get you, like an extra fry or like some extra burgers or something? Just as like I'm sorry. He was like, no, 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 it's chill, it's fine. And I was like, all right, cool. Um,
I always
so
think
yeah,
it. I always think it's so funny, just because. Okay, I always think it's so funny that it's not called fries. It's called Can I Get a Fry? Because like it sounds like you're gonna get like a singular fry, and I just think it's like so funny. It sounds.
true.
I think.
I guess the proper way to say it, like the proper grammatical way to say it would be, can I get an order of fries?
Right. Yeah.
But no one's gonna say an order of fries, so they're just
I
gonna say
might
fries.
honestly. I might honestly say that.
What, an order of fries?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like.
I mean, yeah.
I say shit like super specifically all the time for like no reason.
Well,
So I might
I
on.
say I say stuff in quantities because in food service you kind of have an idea of quantities, so to speak. So you call it an order of blank, an order of blank.
Right.
Like one quantity of. You know.
Right. Yeah, no, I get you.
Nice stretching.
Thanks. Yeah, I really need to
Glad
be.
you glad you remembered to stretch.
Yeah, glad I remembered to stretch. Let me see if I have anything. So this one didn't really happen like directly to me. It kind of
Oh yeah, it can
happened.
be shit that you just like witnessed because
Yeah,
I've witnessed quite a few things too.
yeah. So this kind of happened like. So I ride the bus to school. A lot of people have lots of bad experiences with buses, and I guess I must just be lucky because I've never really had bad experiences with buses, like ever. Um, I think other than this experience, the worst experience I have like ever had was uh was was an was when I was waiting at the bus and some guy like walked up to me and he basically just said to me, uh okay. Again, Akiva decided to do a blowjob motion to me, so that was cool. Uh, but so other than this, the worst experience I've ever had was like some guy like walked up to me just like randomly while I was waiting for the bus, and he just went, "Hey, you got any weed?" And I was like, "No," and then he just walked away. And that experience like wasn't even. I mean, like it made me uncomfortable, I guess, but like it didn't like it wasn't even like bad. It was
That's
just
not, yeah, that's not like terrible.
yeah. But the worst news I ever had on the bus was when I got on the bus and two other people got on. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I've ridden with other people before. It doesn't make me like uncomfortable. I can live with riding with other people on the bus. It's kind of the point. It's public transport. But this guy is just kind of just talking up a storm, and it's like, okay, like it's annoying, but whatever. But he's basically like just like talking about like how he's like in a gang and shit. And it's like, okay, that's like not good, but like again, whatever.
Not really bus talk.
Yeah, but I can like, and keep in mind, he's not talking to me. He's talking to the other guy who he doesn't know, and the guy is like at first he's like he's like kind of talking to him just because like I guess I'm just because like you're on the bus, make the best of that situation. But then eventually the guy just straight up said to him, "Hey, can you be quiet?" I don't think he even said shut up. He just said, "Can you be quiet?" And the guy started like going off, um, basically, and it was like, and he was talking about how like he was like selling drugs to people and stuff, and I was like, and like part of me was thinking like, I hope this doesn't get violent, and like that was like kind of like it's kind of like how I was feeling. Like I don't know why, it just felt like it might get violent because he was getting really angry, you know.
Yeah.
Um, of like, and eventually the bus driver. Keep in mind, I have this bus driver, this woman who drives me a lot, and she's a super nice person, you know. Every time we stop, and like I do this with like every bus driver, but like with her, she's especially reciprocal. I always say, "Oh, thank you, have a nice day," and then she's always like, "You as well, thank you." She's so nice. But she eventually says,
Shout out to Jonas's bus driver.
"Shout out to my bus driver." Well, I have a few, I guess, but like she's the one I really like. Uh, but essentially, she eventually says, "Hey, can you be quiet? You're disturbing the whole bus." And the guy apologizes. I'm like, okay, maybe he'll finally listen. He starts talking again, and keep in mind, it's like a 30-minute drive, so it's
Ugh,
like, oh my god, fucking great.
longest 30 minutes ever, I'm sure.
Yeah. And eventually, finally, he gets off, and like, there was like this sense, like I wasn't quite panicking, but it felt like I might. Like I don't even know why. Like it feels like I should have been fine, but it just felt like so. Like I don't know how to even describe it. And so he kind of just got off, and I was like, oh my god, fucking finally, like, geez.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I usually like riding the bus just because like I'm in like a wide open space, and I can like listen to music and stuff, and I like that. That's nice. I enjoy doing that. But in a situation like that, I don't enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
um. So yeah, I guess that would probably be like one of the worst experiences I suppose I have ever had on a
Yeah.
bus. I guess.
I've never had like a bad bus experience. But I have definitely, oh man. So like this guy was just like kind of a scumbag. Like it wasn't anything like terrible, but it was gross. Um so I used to, when I was younger, I used to ride the bus to work because, when you're a high schooler or a newly graduated 17-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
you don't necessarily like have a car right away unless you're well off or just fortunate enough under certain circumstances.
Right.
Um, so I literally I used to have to take the bus to work every other day, or like whenever I would have work. Sometimes I would Uber, but other times it's cheaper to take the bus. So I get on the bus, and I lived right near a college town.
Okay.
So, and like it's like a college like that was it's pretty well known in the New England region. Um, and two students came on, and it attracts a lot of students from like Asian countries like China, Japan, Korea.
That's actually where most
Um,
foreign exchange students come from. It's usually from those countries.
yeah,
Or like I remember that like
which
the high school.
I enjoy because I've met some really cool people. Um,
It's actually
you know,
really funny because I used to, as I told you, I used to go to a Christian school, and the Chinese people, and like the Chinese government doesn't allow you to publicly express religion, and so because of that, a lot of Chinese people end up just being like just unreligious. But we had a lot of Chinese foreign exchange students who would sit in chapel because they had to go, and they would always fall asleep, and it was so funny, like because it was so funny because they obviously like, just didn't give a shit, and
yeah.
I just love
I
that.
mean, fair enough. If it's not for you, whatever. But like, if you have to do it, yeah, just take a nap.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
But
Take a
no,
nap, study,
but the teachers
read.
always got so pissed off, and I was like, "Dog, they don't give a shit. Like, who cares? Like."
That's the thing. Like, I almost went to a college that was that required chapel,
Mm-hmm.
and I literally told them, I'm like, I'm Jewish. I was like, I am a practicing Jew. I will not like take part in Christian worship. So I'll probably just like put an earbud in or read.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, no, well, that's kind of disrespectful. And I'm like, I think it's disrespectful to force me to go to chapel. But anyway, so
Fair.
like, so I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, I'm on the bus. These two, I think they were Chinese. Yeah, they were Chinese. The reason I make the assumption is because like they also said they were from China.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. There's not really an assumption
so
anymore. It's kind of
fact,
just
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I just didn't want people to be like, oh, Asian, not all Asians look the same, which they don't, obviously. But
That's kind of the
Um,
thing, right? Is that like
yeah.
I can usually okay, like the thing is that realistically, like if you know what you're looking for, you can actually tell. Like you can kind of guess where most Asian people are from. Like generally, like it mostly comes from like attire, right? Like generally, like Chinese people look a certain way. It's kind of it's a lot more like business casual, I guess. It's very much business, I guess, but with
Well, I actually so I had friends. I had a couple friends from China growing up, and he said like his parents like have the idea of like when you go out of the house, you should look good
right,
and presentable. You should like look like you're a good functioning member of society. You should like appear nice and like dress nice for others too, to like look respectable, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to make that assumption. Either way, like either way. So these Chinese students, right? They get on the bus, and this dude, like, first off, I just hear him go, "Hey, oh, wait a second," and he gets on the bus. So like he
okay,
obviously was like late for his bus or whatever.
yeah,
He
that's
sits down.
whatever.
He sits down behind the girls, and he's like, "Hey," and we get on the bus, and we're driving. It's about like 5 minutes in. It was about like a 30-minute bus ride,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, "Hey, your girl's from China," and I was like, "Oh god." And the girls were like, "Oh yeah, like we're students at the university. Like we're from China," and they were like kind of speaking broken English.
Right.
Um,
That's
but essentially that's what they meant. Um, so you might hear the sound of car doors closing in a moment, just because I think there's a little league game happening.
you've
Actually,
ruined the podcast. How dare you?
ruining the podcast.
Grr.
So
Grr.
essentially, like he goes like, yeah, I'm real into Oriental girls, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and just
Okay.
like kind of starts talking a big game to him, like
Right.
hitting on them, and they're like, I'm looking back at them, and they're kind of like looking extremely uncomfortable,
Yeah.
like they're just like, and he like moves next to them
Oh.
and then starts talking to them more and being like, yeah, here's my number. Like, I can show you girls around town, show you how to have a good time around here. I really
Ooh.
like your people. Your people really know what's going on. Blah blah blah. And I was
Hmm.
like, hmm. And I was ready to like get up and the bus driver was like, hey, go, like, it's two people on that seat. Why is there a third? Get your own seat. There's plenty of room. Because like you could tell the bus driver like heard what was going on, and he was like,
It was like maybe
and he
not.
sits next to this other guy, and this other guy is just like rolling his eyes, and he's like, why the fuck? Like I heard him under his breath go like, why? And I was like, oh man. And the girls start talking kind of frantically, like quietly but frantically in Chinese,
Right.
and they're just like blah 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 back and forth. And he, icing to the cake, right before his stop, he goes, hey, hear that? They're talking about me. And then he goes, they're talking about how much they want me.
No. Okay. Okay. Let us say yes. They likely are talking about you, but I don't think it's. I don't think. I don't think they're talking about you in the way they think. Like, there's a difference between saying, "Ooh, that guy's so hot," and saying, "Oh my god, I need to call the police."
Yeah, and like he gets off, and I turn, and I'm like,
And he probably
I
did get
literally
off.
turned, and I'm like, I turned, and I was like, if you guys don't feel comfortable getting off on your stop, I'll get off with you. Like that was disgusting and unacceptable. I'm so sorry. And I said, welcome to the area. You're in Dover right now. Whatever, blah blah blah. And I just kind of like talked to them, and they seemed like a little calmed down after that. And
Yeah.
it felt so bad. They looked so freaked out.
Well, yeah. When you're okay, the thing is, right, is
I
that
think that was like their first experience in the town.
yeah, like realistically, like getting like fucking like sexually harassed in general is a scary thing. I know, hot take.
It is. I have been. It
Yeah,
is.
but like when you get sexually harassed in a place that you're not familiar with, it's like, oh my god, like where the hell am I gonna be able to go? Like this is scary.
Yeah. I had someone come up to me and go, I love your beautiful brown eyes and your beautiful black hair. And I was like, yeah,
It's
it's
so
gross.
funny
People are,
because like fucking like brown eyes are like the most common color. It's like it's such like a weird
well,
compliment.
I had someone come up to me and like be like, "Hey, I don't mean to be weird, but I just wanted to say you have a really beautiful smile."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Thank you so much." And they were like, "Have a nice day." That was it. That's all I wanted to say. I was like, "All right." Like or like like I was wearing a like a sweatshirt or something with like a band and someone was like, "Oh, that's my favorite band."
But you
And I
see,
was like, "Oh, like there's like ways to talk to someone and warm up into like eventually kind of being like, oh, you seem really cool. Want to get coffee sometime?
yeah,
Not like, yeah,
there's
I'll show you girls how I like you Oriental folk. Oh, you
yeah,
want to
there's
see
like
a
yeah, there's like a line between saying like, "Oh, you're wearing a Zelda shirt," and I like Zelda, all the way to want to see my dick. Like,
yeah, like
there's
wanna put my cock in your mouth? Like gross. Like that dude was just slimy and gross sounding. Like God, do you yeah, do you have any other
I know I've
experiences?
had some bad experiences. I just don't know like like what exactly what bad experiences I've had. Uh, uh
I have two quick ones if you need to think
all
more.
right. Okay, let's hear them.
All right. So number one, um, customer, right? All right. I give the customer her order. I don't know if you've been to Five Guys, but they give like an extra scoop of fries with your order. Like when you get fries, you get like a little extra scoop. It's called a topper cup. You just get a little extra. Um, well, uh, you let me think. You like okay, so I give her food. And she's like, "Oh, I didn't realize there's a lot of fries in here." And I was like, "Yeah, I mean like if it's too much, like next time you can ask for like no extra scoop and we won't give it to you if that's okay." She's like, "Okay." And I was like, "But, you know what you can do with those fries?" And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "So with the extra fries, you can actually put them on a baking sheet, put some olive oil on them, turn the oven to 350, cook them for 2 or 3 minutes. They'll be perfect again." And she looks at me and goes, "Don't fucking tell me how to cook." Snatches her bag of food and storms out.
Did she pay?
Well, yeah, yeah. Like, so
Okay.
if you pay before you get your food.
Okay.
So like, but like, she snatches her food and then just fucking walks up. Like, don't tell me how to fucking cook. It's like, and then the second one was like a long time ago. But essentially, this lady gets her food and she gets like our little black plasticware with it, like plastic fork, plastic knife. She comes up and demands a refund. She was like, "This is disgusting." I was like, "What's disgusting?" She was like, "This," and she throws down her wrapped silverware or her wrapped plasticware. I'm like, "What about it?" And she's like, "It's black." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like in my head, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But I was like, "What?" And then my manager comes up. He's like, "What's the problem?" And I'm like, "She wants a refund because we're using black cutlery." And she's like, "Yeah, it's disgusting." And we were like, "Well, what would you want us to do?" She's like, "Use the white ones, use the clean ones." Like, what?
Oh,
I was like, "What are you?" I didn't put two and two together at that point
right.
that she was being just shitty. Like, but I was like, what is disgusting? It's wrapped in plastic. Like, what is disgusting about it? So we gave her a refund, like for it, and listed the reasoning as lady mad about color of plasticware. And then we kind of jokingly in the email put like, "Oh, what did we do to make it right? We agreed to segregate the plasticware." Like,
Right.
like, like what? Like, what am I gonna do in that situation to make it better? I'm gonna give you a refund so you shut up, and then you're just not gonna like come back. Like, never saw her again, by the way.
Shit.
So
Fuck.
it's like, what the fuck?
Fuck. That's fucked.
Yeah, people are stupid.
Yeah.
Like, people are shitty. Like, people suck.
Yeah, it's
Man.
so strange because like okay, I guess that this one technically didn't happen in real life. It happened in VR chat, but it's like the best one I can think of.
I mean,
Uh,
it's still technically you're still technically interacting with other people,
yeah.
so
So
it
the
falls
hangout.
under the category of people suck. And I mean, at the same time, Milk Lovers Anonymous, we talk about whatever the fuck we want. So at the end of the day, we
Yeah.
talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. We even talk about your address and where you live. We know where you live.
Yeah. What's your favorite social security number combination?
Yeah, guys.
Start with yours.
Yeah. Okay, guys. You know what? We're gonna play a fun game. We're gonna compare social security numbers. So go onto our YouTube channel and comment your social security number, and then we'll see who has the coolest one.
Yeah. And also follow it, like, crazy idea, but follow it with your debit card number, expiration date, and the 3-digit security code on the back.
Yeah.
And whoever has the most unique will be picked for a prize. So, and then we'll DM you, and you give us your billing address, and dog, you'll win a prize.
Yeah, dog. We do the coolest prizes here on Milk Lovers Anonymous. You don't even know.
Yeah.
We're about to get a lot of money to do a lot of prize work. So you know.
Yeah, we're about to get a lot of cash influx.
Yeah. You know, donations. Am I right? So I was playing VR chat with a few of my friends. And essentially, so for context, my name on VR chat is Jonas the Jew, just like it is on most social platforms.
Oh no.
Yeah, so these guys come up and they say, hey, can we like insult your Jewish friend for a bit? And I started to like cut out because like sometimes the internet sucks. And then I got back and then everything went back better. And they were kind of like standing around me. And the first thing they asked me was, how do you feel about, and basically said, how do you feel about Africans immigrating to Israel? And of course, the whole idea is that like, the Jews are trying to send Africans to America, but they don't want them to come to Israel. And I was like, dog, I've never been to Israel. I don't know anything about Israel. I don't fucking live in Israel. Like, I don't fucking care what they do. I'm more opinionated on Israel than that, but I wasn't going to say that, like, right there and then.
No,
Yeah.
and we probably shouldn't say our opinions on Israel during the podcast anyway, just to kind of avoid that.
But that's right. But that's just what I said. I kind of said I'd never been to Israel.
Yeah.
I've been like, I don't know anything about it. I don't fucking live there.
Yeah.
I don't care what
you
they
haven't. Do. You're not part of that. Like, you're literally not even part of that social circle.
Yes, correct.
So to speak, you're not living there. You're not experiencing life there. So therefore, why you can't really speak on that topic.
It's kind of coming up to me and then going like, "Hey man, like dog, I'm like dog, like how do you feel?" Well, at least directed at like kind of like an accusation of me. It's kind of like they come to me and be like, "Hey, how do you feel about what's happening in Xinjiang?" It's like I don't fucking live in China. Like I'm not even.
What's happening there?
Oh, Xinjiang, basically in Xinjiang. It's primarily a Muslim territory, and so China.
Oh,
yeah,
I remember.
Yeah,
yep. I forgot what area that was.
Yeah.
That's still going on.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think China's ever going to stop that. They have no reason to. But yeah. I'm not claiming it's a good thing. I'm just saying they have no reason to stop.
No, I know, but they're probably not going to unless there's an active unless they're actively physically stopped.
Correct. But so after I say that, they obviously don't know where to go from that.
Oh, speaking to that topic also, Kaifeng Jews. It's a similar thing happening with Kaifeng Jews. They're trying to like push Jewish businesses out of Kaifeng.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, they're trying to push Jewish business and Jewish life out of Kaifeng. They don't want Jews.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
it sounds bad. It sounds bad.
It sounds
bad. It's not how I meant it. I mean, it means in the sense that it makes sense that China is doing that because that's a very China thing to do.
They're a very anti-religion. Basically.
Yes, I did not mean that. It makes sense
At least
that they
stated.
wouldn't. Um, but
I feels you, dog. I got you. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah. But so obviously they don't know where to go from there because like realistically, I kind of just like I wasn't like arguing for or against Israel. I kind of just said I don't give a shit what the fuck they do. I don't fucking live there.
Yeah, because
And
obviously, like, you don't want to.
right,
You
I
don't want to. You just don't want to have that argument with some
and
rando
plus,
online.
if I say I don't have enough, plus if I say for or against, they're gonna give like that's just fuel for the fire, you know. Uh, so then they just say, so how do you feel about rabbis biting off foreskin off of babies' dicks? And at that point, I was just like, and what I literally said, and I'm not proud of myself for saying this. I think I could have come up with a better insult, but at that point, I was just so offended and I'm just so done. I just said, I think you guys should kill yourselves, and I blocked both of them. Uh, which realistically, that's probably what I should have done from the beginning.
Well, that was
But
also like back whenever that happened. That's kind of like the edgy thing to say in response to people trying to be edgy.
no,
Like,
this happened. No, this happened like this year.
no, yeah, my coworker. I have a big issue with VR chat right now, because they're allowing like certain rooms to be like Nazi roleplay rooms, um, which is not okay. Like my coworker came up to me and he was like, "Oh yeah, I found like a bunch of kids just did a Nazi salute.
Oh,
Bunch of kids just did a Nazi salute." I
shit.
I just watched a bunch of or maybe no, they were going like they were, yeah, huh. Fun. Okay, sorry,
Okay.
that stopped me in my tracks. Anyway, so my
Yeah.
coworker comes up to me and he was like, "Oh, I found like a Nazi VR chat, like Nazi roleplay, like Auschwitz roleplay or whatever." And I was like, "Oh, like that's disgusting." Oh, wait. Oh, they were all pointing. They
Oh,
went like from the chest to like outwards, like literally. But
but
there were
that
a
makes
bunch of
sense
kids.
now because it's like, oh, it's kind of like, oh, look at that, Oh my god. Okay.
No, yeah, okay, yeah, no, they didn't do a Nazi salute. No,
Fuck.
okay, all right, cool. A bunch of children didn't just get
So
indoctrinated.
yeah.
I'm gonna have a hot take, guys. I'm gonna have a hot take,
Oh
but
boy.
Nazism ain't cool.
Ooh, spill the tea, sis.
I know, right? So anyway, so and he just tells me about this and about like all the fucked up things they were saying, and I was just like, that's kind of really gross. Like that, I don't want that. That's disgusting that they allowed that. Like that's gross. That's terrible. And my coworker obviously was not like all for it. Like he was
Right.
not for it at all. Like, but like it was just like,
I think it's
like
like okay. I think that like as like a one time just like reading it, I feel like that'd be funny to like find. Just be like, oh, that's so fucked up, haha, and then just like never look at it
no, they
again.
were like actively like it was in VR chat and they were actively like doing things and like my they were actively like saying not good things and like pretending they were like Auschwitz, like they were Auschwitz guards or whatever, like concentration camp guards and Nazi officers. That's not okay. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I have that issue with VR chat that's getting allowed, but that's just me. Hot take, hot take. I don't think Nazism is cool or should be included under free speech, but I'm just saying, just saying. Because once it starts becoming about harming others, I don't think it's a like free speech or anything.
Oh shit, I have another one that's actually still kind of bad. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's another internet one, but still made me feel uncomfortable. But
Mhm.
basically, I had like a point in my life. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have tried to have done this. But basically, I was like, man, I want to like understand like anti-Semites and stuff, and then and like that way, it brings us brings like humanity closer together. I should have realized like that's not really going to do anything, but at the time I thought it was a good idea. Uh, so I'm kind of talking to so basically so like I find this person who's like super like against like trans rights, and like at first I'm like, oh, you should be for trans rights, and they were like super against it. But I guess they apparently thought I was cool. I guess maybe I don't fucking know, and so they started following me, and I'm like,
Ew.
okay. And so I followed them back. At the time, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this might lead to something. But eventually, like they started doing like really like I think the thing we realized that it wasn't going well was that they posted something and they tagged me in it, and it was this post of you might have seen this video before, but it's this video of this guy in a synagogue or some sort of Jewish meeting area, and the guy gets up and he says, "I'm Jewish. I support Palestinian human rights," and then all the Jews get like mad at him, and it's like okay, what the fuck are you trying to prove with this video? Like it's kind of
Well,
like
also, like, what good is that doing? Congratulations, you made a change by standing up in a synagogue where a bunch of people are just there, or a Jewish meeting place where people are just there to, like, either talk about Jewish values, pray, whatever, like, do Jewish things. You're gonna stand there and go, like, I stand for this thing. What are you accomplishing? You're literally just yelling something at people.
because here's the thing, right? The fact of the matter is that, as I stated before, none of those people live in Israel. They have nothing to do with that country. Like you can't fucking like get mad at them. Like it's the like without getting too opinionated, but I think this is just a fact. You're not mad at the people. You're mad at the government of that country, which they have nothing to do with. Like
Yeah, like 9 out of 10 times you meet someone from like a country, like 9 times out of 10 you meet someone from like a country that is doing things you don't approve of. They're probably not actively involved in doing it. They're just trying to live their lives as much as they can.
correct. Like and here's the thing, right? And I'm not saying that we should start doing this because I don't agree with that. But we see like a lot of like active like Jewish or I guess more Israeli hate, like people who are from Israel and they're like, oh man, that guy sucks, or like Jewish and Israeli people need to give their opinions on Israel, right? Because that's like important, right? Because like they need to be the ones to stand up. But then even though like the thing is right is that if someone ever did that to a Chinese person, they shouldn't. But if someone did, that would be considered racist, as it should be, because that's
Oh, yeah, okay. It's literally just the teacher pointing, and then the kids are pointing too. But it looked like from where I was at, they were going like
right.
chest out,
Yes,
Hail
exactly.
Hitler, like, and they
Right.
did it all at once. So that's why, like, I was like, the fuck.
Right. Yeah, exactly. uh uh
Oh no,
oh no. Oh geez, it's
the
bad. Oh
sound
god.
thing.
Hello everybody. We're back to having bad sound. This was happening before, but we were good for most of it. Oh
Holy
boy.
shit.
It'll get better eventually. We'll be fine. Yeah, just
And
lags a
we're
little bit.
fine.
Yep, we're fine now. But essentially, like, if someone did that to a Chinese person, it would be considered racist, as it should be, you know?
Well,
But
that would be like if like a couple Chinese people were living. Well, obviously, like Chinese people live where I'm at. They live in a lot of places.
they live
But
everywhere.
like, let's say like there was like there's a Chinese Christian church near me. That would be like if someone came there, just to like, and people were worshiping, and somebody stood up and went, "I believe in Tibetan rights. I believe Tibet should be its own country and not be part of China." Okay, good job. You yelled at people that have nothing to do with Tibet. Like, great, and like the Chinese government. Great fucking job. Like, it's kind of a similar thing. It's like you're literally just yelling at people who have nothing to do with that country or government. For most people, it's just like a thing on a birth certificate. Like,
Right.
I was born here. For some people, they're like, for some people, they might have moved over because they're tired of like living in that country and they got a bad hand of cards.
And even if they do support that country and what they're doing, they're not the ones who are making that happen. It's still the government.
They're literally over
that.
here not doing that.
Mm-hmm. Like, here's the thing, right? in China, most people who live in China support what China is doing because China has a lot of propaganda, and they take out a lot of information and they put out the information that would make them say, "Oh, of course that makes sense. Obviously, of course China's right because it's propaganda. Obviously, of course that makes sense." But we don't hate Chinese people for that. Why would we? That would be terrible. But when it comes, I guess with fucking Israel, it's different. I guess it's fucking time to hate the Israelis for what their government is doing.
Right, and yeah, obviously we're not gonna get more into the politics of it. We just don't want to. We don't want to do that. We don't want to.
Yeah, we don't care about the politics. We care about the social issues, and that's what we.
We don't want to light the fire right now. We're good for right now.
Yeah. Personally,
if anybody asks us what our opinions are, we're not gonna answer.
Actually, here's what my opinion about Israel and Palestine is. I believe we should get a giant bulldozer, bulldoze all of it, and then just build a giant Disneyland.
I think we should take it and push it somewhere else.
I saw somebody comment that they should on like Instagram or something that they should just bulldoze like all of Israel and Palestine and then just build like a giant Disneyland. And I was like, you know what? Hell yeah.
That's kind of funny.
And you know what? Since like Jerusalem is like such like a holy area, they they can have like holy they can have like holy rides. They can be like, oh wait, Moses like split the Red Sea, so it can be like a log flume ride, and then you go down.
Yeah, well, and then oh look, it's the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Watch out! Here's the blood of Christ, and just like wine just fucking pours on, or blood, or just straight up fucking blood, just
somebody,
and then like you have the one like devout person that's like, oh, amen, hallelujah.
Somebody,
and like, oh, there's the body of Christ, and it's just like either chunks of flesh or bread,
and then somebody just fucking like asked the governor of Israel, hey, how did you get that? And then he says, "Just be like, hey, don't worry about it. It is not."
Well, no, it's not Israel anymore.
Oh, that's
it's not
right.
Palestine or
it's
Israel
Disney.
Anymore.
It's Disney. That's
it's
right.
Disneyland.
Yeah, it's Disneyland.
It's literally the country of Disneyland. Yeah, and then just how did you get it? Then don't worry about it.
It is not your concern.
Yeah, just don't look over the walls.
Yeah, it is not important.
Don't look over the city walls, though.
Oh man.
God, yeah, people suck.
People do indeed
obviously
suck.
There's some good in the world, but there's also a lot of fucking idiots that are a lot louder.
But you know who is awesome? You, the audience. You're awesome. Unless you're racist.
Man, way to brown nose, you piece of shit.
Unless you're anti-Semitic, but if you weren't anti-Semitic, I don't know why you'd be listening to this podcast. That'd be kind of
weird. We're too Jew. Don't listen to us if you're an anti-Semite.
I don't know. Again, I don't know why you would, but if you are, you're not awesome. But to the rest of the general audience, you're awesome, and we love you. Mwah.
Yeah.
Mwah. That's me kissing you. Mwah.
If you are an anti-Semite, go fuck yourself.
Oh, and this is me unzipping your pants. Zip. Ooh. What's in here?
I'm gonna tongue punch your fart box.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we've been shooting the shit for quite a long time, and honestly, I might be getting, and honestly, I might be violating some boundaries with the audience here. So it might be best if we just call it a day on this podcast right now.
Probably.
In any case, I have been to host Jonas Goldberg.
I have been tone host Akiva Goldberg.
Yeah. And we will see you at some point later in time.